because the risk outweighs the benefits. There's a risk that comes with marriage that essentially only benefits a woman. A man marries you and can only hope that one day you don't wake up and say, I feel like I don't love you anymore and I want to leave and you can't do anything about it. According to ASA, 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Among college educated women, it jumps to 90%. You know what's crazy? I mean, a lot of us women don't have anything a man actually wants that we can bring to the table.
All right, hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Racha. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, taught me this truth, and shalom to the elect out there pushing this truth in all sincerity in the four quarters of the earth. Lord willing, we be of that number. It's your brother Tapaya Yakonah coming at you with a lesson, and Lord willing, it's edifying. You know, just real quick on these women. And as you saw, the woman was talking about how these women don't really have anything to offer a man except for pretty much a trap and a snare in the form of marriage, man, because it's just a risk that men take when they deal with women in that type of contractual agreement, man. You know, it's an emotional risk, it's a financial risk. You know, it's just a high risk in this place. Babylon the Great exalts the woman. It's a very feminine society, man. America, which is Babylon the Great. I'm gonna go ahead and get right into this story of Samson and Delilah in the NLT. This is Judges chapter 16 and verse 4. It reads, sometime later Samson fell in love with a woman named Delilah, who lived in the valley of Sorek. The rulers of the Philistines went to her and said, entice Samson to tell you what makes him so strong and how he can be overpowered and tied up securely. Then each of us will give you 1,100 pieces of silver. You know, and so they're plotting, you know, basically to capture Samson, okay, through a woman, okay. All right. It reads verse 6. So Delilah said to Samson, please tell me what makes you so strong and what it would take to tie you up securely. Samson replied, if I were tied up with 7 new bowstrings that have not yet been dried, I would become as weak as anyone else. So the Philistines' rulers brought Delilah 7 new bowstrings, and she tied Samson up with them. She had hidden some men in one of the inner rooms of her house, and she cried out, Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you. But Samson snapped the bowstrings as a piece of string snaps when it is burned by a fire. So the secret of his strength was not discovered. Verse 10. Afterward, Delilah said to him, you've been making fun of me and telling me lies. Now please tell me how you can be tied up securely. Verse 11. See, so Samson is over here playing games with this woman. You know, he thinks it's a game. But we're going to read how this is not a game, man. When you deal with woman, you know, woman is the scriptures speak on how a woman's heart is traps and snares. It also speaks on how the wickedness of a woman. There's no how's it go? Let's go ahead and grab it real quick. How's it go? Wickedness of a woman. Ecclesiasticus 25:19. All wickedness is but little, little. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. So we have a certain amount of protection against these women out here. Dealing with the law, statutes, commandments, obeying to the best of our ability. But just to make the point, we're dealing with a sinful nation, man, as is written in Isaiah 1:4. Israel is a sinful nation, man, and it's evident, man. I just saw the other day, actually, not too long ago. I put it in a post, and the captain made mention of it, man. This chick, Sexy Red, my my coochie hole. Anyways, I'll show it, man. It's just so vulgar that just even the title, you don't even want to say it. This is the state of our women, man. This is the state of our women, man. They're being exalted to the point where they just feel like they can do any fucking thing, and they're, a lot of them, they're witches. They deal with Ifa and all this witchcraft, tarot cards, the ways of Satan, man, the ways of the devil, man. Okay, and it's just being circumspect, dealing with these women, man. Because they're as the scriptures say, a woman shall compass a man. In these times, yeah, it's just getting more and more evident that this devil is propping these women up and puppeteering these women and using them, especially against the so-called black man, the Israelites, man. And they just out there just running amok from 8 to 80, doing crazy shit. But anyways, continuing on, Judges 16 and 10, and so we're seeing that Delilah, she ain't playing no games, but she's playing like she is playing games, okay? But she's still at him. So that's also, you got to be careful dealing with communications with these women, man. At a certain point, you got to cut that bitch off, and don't open your heart to her. So it says, Judges 16 and 11, Samson replied, "If I were tied up with brand new ropes that had never been used, I would become as weak as anyone else." So Delilah took new ropes and tied him up. With them, the men were hiding in the inner room as before. And again, Delilah cried out, "Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you." But again, Samson snapped the ropes from his arms as if they were thread. Verse 13, then Delilah said, "You've been making fun of me and telling me lies. Now tell me how you can be tied up securely." Samson replied, "If you were to weave the 7 braids of my hair into the fabric on your loom and tighten it with the loom shuttle, I would become as weak as anyone else." So while he slept, Delilah wove the 7 braids of his hair into the fabric, and she tightened it with the loom shuttle. Again she cried out, "Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you." But Samson woke up, pulled back the loom shuttle, and yanked his hair away from the loom and the fabric. Then Delilah pouted, you see. So she's playing like a little girl, man, And this is the wiles of a woman, man. The little games they play. All right, it says, how can you tell me I love you when you don't share your secrets with me? You see, and so she plays the whole love game. You don't love me. You don't love me because you don't tell me your secrets. It says you've made fun of me 3 times now, and you still haven't told me what makes you strong. She tormented him with her nagging. She tormented him with her nagging day after day until he was sick to death of it. It's another thing, man. The mouth of the so-called black woman, man. Yap, 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 yap. This is why the scriptures say, man, how's it go? We'll get it real quick. Be as if you're in this truth and you don't have a woman, be as if you don't have a woman, man. Um, be as if you have not wives, something like that. All right. 1 Corinthians 7:29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none. So if you have a wife, act like you don't have one. And I believe, let me see, verse 27, 1 Corinthians 7:27. Art thou bound unto a wife